Welcome back to the Morning Line. We're well and truly into our harness segment on this Tuesday morning. We've recapped the weekend that was, and we're looking forward to what's going to be another very busy weekend, particularly in New South Wales, with a double header Friday night with the Newcastle Mile and the winner progressing through the first horse through to the $1 million Miracle Mile before Chariots of Fire Night takes hold of Menangle on Saturday evening. Whilst Sydney is holding much of the sport's attention at the moment, and then we'll roll into races like the Nullarbor and, of course, the race out of New Zealand, there is always one eye on the Tab Eureka at the moment, with the first running in September of this year of the richest harness race in the world for 3- and 4-year-old pacers. And whilst there's plenty of chatter around slot holders and potential horses filling their positions in the race, Racing Queensland, we know, also has a slot in the inaugural running and going forward as well. And from Racing Queensland, David Brick's joining us this morning, as late last week they announced just how they will decipher their position in this year's Tab Eureka and their horse as well, with the running of a brand new race on the harness racing calendar as part of the Constellations Carnival, which is not too far away at all. Good morning, David. Exciting times. No doubt there's been a fair bit of toing and froing when discussing how Racing Queensland is going to be represented in the Tab Eureka, but you've settled on a new race, an exciting new race as well. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, thanks, Britt. Really looking forward to being part of the Eureka for the first time. As you indicated, we sort of had a good discussion internally and with industry about how we'll go about selecting our runner in the Eureka. But from day one, we set out with 3 key focuses of our proposal to HRA about how we would utilise our slot. And they really focused on innovation, having a Queensland flavour and resonating outside the harness racing industry. So that's sort of how we've moved forward since being awarded a slot, and it's great to have been able to announce the Hayden last week, a race that'll be for 3- and 4-year-old Q-breds. It'll be Queensland trained and also driven by a Queensland driver. But moving into that, the key aspect in terms of selecting horses for that race, we've implemented our own slot race, and from an innovation point of view, we'll be interested in introducing a slot auction, which will be run in conjunction with the Sunshine Stars yearling sale on the 12th of March. We think it's a really good fit with the new product that the Albion Park Harness Racing Club and Nutrien have put together, and so it'll be a feature of that event. And we've also drawn on the fact that I guess harness racing scene and the barriers are seen as critical for that. So we've gone with a bit of a theory that I guess the user pays. So if you want a better barrier, you're going to have to pay more for that privilege. And all that money that's raised from the slot auction will go into the overall pot of the race. Started with 100,000 from RQ and then the remainder from the slot auction. We have predetermined the type of horses that'll fit into each barrier to help slot holders determine what horse they've got to go get, and also when they're bidding on the barrier as to, I guess, what their limit and what type of horse they need to go and find, or they may already be an existing owner and have a horse that they want to put into the race. So, for example, barrier 1 is for a 3-year-old filly, colt or gelding, and then works through to the 4-year-olds, which from gate 5 onwards. And then the race itself will be pretty much modelled off the Eureka in terms of a similar distance. It'll be 21:38 at Albion Park. Obviously for Australian bred horses, but our conditions will stipulate that it needs to be a 3- or 4-year-old Q-bred, and as I said, it'll be Queensland trained and Queensland driven, and be exciting part of the Constellations Carnival this year on the 15th of July.
Very exciting, and as you mentioned, very innovative as well. We know that the Q-bred scheme has grown in interest and involvement over the last few seasons, and we're going to see, I guess, the results of that flow on over the next few seasons as well. So interestingly, a point that I probably hadn't cottoned on to, so the $100,000 prize pool is there, that's the minimum, and then there's potential for it to grow in prize money due to how much is brought in from that auction to be run at the Sunshine Stars yearling sale. So say, for example, if we're to get another $20,000 from slot holder buy-in, that's going to go onto the top of the prize money pool. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So it'll certainly be a minimum $100,000 race. We'd hope to raise certainly a few dollars through that. Obviously, the market will determine that. We see it as a bit of fun as well, but certainly for those that are looking to bid or would like to get a horse into the race, there's certainly a good starting pot of $100,000, and that'll be built on at the auction.
Before we talk about the race name as well, in terms of the auction order, so we'll start off with barrier number 1 for a 3-year-old and work our way through. So I guess when it comes to tactics or plans from potential slot holders, that's how it's going to work. Barrier 1, the premium spot, will be the first auctioned off.
Yeah, that's right. We did have a bit of a discussion with the auctioneer about potentially having a different order, but we felt for the first year it was important, just for simplicity, just to run through from gate 1 through to gate 10. In future years we may look at changing that up as to what we think are the best barriers and where they should be placed as part of the auction. But certainly for the first year, it'll be auction 1 through 10. And as you said, each of the gates have a specified horse and age and sex for them. So those that are bidding know what they've got to go and get after they've won the slot.
Yeah, so those with a nice 3-year-old filly maybe will have an opportunity to purchase a slot, and that gate number 1, if you're very interested in being involved, particularly getting a good gate, which we know is so important. So the Hayden is the name of this new race. Talk us through the reasoning behind that. We've got a very proud sporting history here in Queensland, and it draws on that also.
Yeah, absolutely. As we said, we wanted to resonate outside the industry, and Matt Hayden was a perfect fit from that point of view. He's clearly one of the Australian great cricketers, and he's from Queensland. He's a country lad. He's got some good experience with horses, which he showed. His pictures you see there with Matty Elkins and Paravani. But yeah, it was a perfect fit for it. He jumped at the opportunity, and I guess the other strategic fit was his partnership with Shoreline. And part of the race will also raise funds for that organisation, which raises funds and helps Indigenous youth with education and employment opportunities thereafter. So I think there was a really good 3-way fit between the organisations, and each party, has the interest of promoting Shoreline and Indigenous growth throughout our community. So, and the fact that we're able to partner with Matt, and I guess his lovable larrikin type of demeanour and his country lad, I think it sort of fits really well with the harness racing industry as well.
Yeah, great stuff. That's been a very good discussion around this new race, and so many facets, as you mentioned, and it's going to garner plenty of interest over the next few months as we lead towards race night as well. And of course, all starting off with that slot auction to be conducted in early March at the Sunshine Stars yearling sales. Before we let you go, David, it seems there's so many exciting new initiatives or races being added to the calendar, just increasingly as we head towards this year's 2023 Constellations Carnival. Prize money increases, new races. Are we done yet with announcements, or is there still a little bit more to come to even heighten the excitement ahead of June and July?
No, pleasingly, there's still a little bit more blood to get out of the stone. We've been really pleased to have announced a couple of feature races, as you said, the Hayden and also the Great Square, and coupled with the Queensland Oaks and Queensland Derby for trotters. So, but we will we'll be looking to bolster some of our other features throughout the carnival. So I'll be looking to release that in the coming week and get the schedule out. We've obviously got the entree to the Constellations down in Sydney and Melbourne at the moment. So, but looking forward to the main course in the middle of the year. So we're keen to get that schedule out to participants as soon as possible, so they're aware where they're heading. And look, pleasingly, there looks like there'll be some further announcement on the Great Square, but I'll leave that to the Albion Park Club to do in the coming week.
Excellent. We'll wait and see what's to come there. And you've got the ID23 merch proudly wearing today as well. So that's all starting to gain momentum. We know that over the next couple of weeks at Albion Park, we won't be racing there due to some changes in infrastructure when it comes to the callers box. But that'll be a nice little tick off to see us moving towards having Albion Park ready to host such a magnificent event, which is the Inter-Dominion. And it'll be here before we know it.
Yeah, it sure is. We're looking forward to it. Plenty of work being done between Albion Park and RQ, and we've certainly looked to work with industry on that. But we've tried to hit the ground running on that front and get the dates out early so people are aware when that feature event is. And now we're really working hard with the club on what the entertainment will be around the event. And also, as you said, there's some key venue changes that'll need to be undertaken. We are looking at currently putting in some more semi-permanent sort of stabling over the back of the track. We had a toe in the water last year during the carnival, but we're looking at putting something in there a bit more permanent that will see us through the carnival this year and the Inter-Dominion and then our future constellations until we end up at Norwell in 2026. So planning well and truly underway, and we're really looking forward to it. It'll be a great event up here in Queensland, and we encourage people to get it in their diaries, either for their horses or just come for a holiday. It'll be good fun.
Yeah, such an exciting year to come here in Queensland, and we have the awards night on Sunday as well. So there's not a great deal of time to breathe for the moment, and you're probably not going to get an opportunity for the next 12 months or so, David. So we appreciate you finding time to join us this morning. Congratulations on the new race announcement with the Hayden to be run in this year's Constellations Carnival with a view to the Tab Eureka in September. I'm sure we'll be chatting again shortly. Thanks for your time.
Anytime, Britt. Thanks for yours.
David Brick from Racing Queensland. He, of course, is in charge of harness here in Queensland, and he's doing a fantastic job and so many great initiatives and announcements, and it sounds like there may still be a few to come. So the Hayden to be run on July 15 as a part of the Constellations Carnival, with the winner of that race occupying the Racing Queensland slot in the first ever running of the Tab Eureka in September at Menangle for a tick over $2 million. We'll be back here on the Morning Line very shortly.